Welcome, guys, to an exciting GITEX episode of a cybersecurity podcast from Ingram Micro Security team. Today, we wanted to discuss probably one of those points that not many people address, but at the same time becomes a major challenge for a lot of customers, a lot of partners. What we're talking about is providing security. When I say security, complete security without compromising on simplicity or productivity. So today we have with us CrowdStrike. We would like to tell you how, using one single platform, one single agent, CrowdStrike is able to provide complete security for our customers and our partners across the globe. When most of the technical giants were focusing on how they could increase their coverage of capturing or identifying or preventing malwares or ransomwares from impacting or affecting their customers, CrowdStrike from the onset onwards started with a very different approach. To rephrase or to re-quote George Kurtz, the founding CEO of CrowdStrike, we don't have a malware problem, we have an adversary problem. I would like to introduce our guest for the show, Michel Tanus. Michel is a channel SC with CrowdStrike for the past 4 years, comes with a lot of experience for more than a decade in the cybersecurity domain. And I am Martin James, Senior Product Manager, Cybersecurity, Ingram Micro. Welcome, Michel.
Thank you, Martin. Hello, everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank you, Martin, and to thank also the Ingram team for hosting us today during this series of podcasts. It's always exciting to be part of GITEX Global. So this is where we can meet our customers, our partners during this busy week of GITEX. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michel, for joining us. During this week in GITEX, we wanted to emphasize on two specific aspects. One is related to the importance of consolidation, and second is about providing actionable intelligence, or how to turn intelligence into actions to our customers, which can benefit our valued customers and partners in the region. So what would be your take on the evolving cyber security threat landscape in this region and across the globe? What message have you got to share with our customers and partners?
Yeah, so initially, as a leader in terms of endpoint security, as a leader in terms of threat intelligence and managed services, this is where we continue our commitment to have our mission to stop the breaches. We always need to be one step ahead of the adversaries. So this is where we combine the best technology and the best intelligence and the best expertise with our global coverage, as we rank number one in terms of IDC worldwide endpoint security for market share for 3 consecutive times. So this is how we are able to have this proper coverage to monitor this evolving threat landscape. So for this point, I would like to highlight into some key insights related to our global threat hunting report. So this was released recently, and I would like to advise everyone to get a free copy to download it from our website. So within this report, there are 4 main key insights. Initially, we need to identify on the identity where it continues to be the mainstream. And this is where we see an increase of 583% in terms of Kerberosting. And this is related to the identity-based attack technique. And this is where we see an increase of 147% in terms of advertisement on the dark web related to access brokers for compromised credentials. And the point number 2 is mainly related to the threat actors, how smart they are towards the cloud. We see more targets, more attacks happening at the cloud, and this is where we see an increase of 90% of attacks happening at the cloud. And the third point is mainly related to how fast are these adversaries, where we see the breakout time getting shorter. On average, it is now around 79 minutes. And the last point here is mainly related to the capabilities of the threat actor, where they are having more capabilities in terms of targeting different operating systems. So they do not only target Windows operating system, where they are expanding their coverage towards Linux and towards Mac as well.
Thanks, Michel. Thanks for sharing those statistics. But I believe this as more of a global numbers, but do we have something specific for our region which would probably be more helpful for our customers as well?
Of course. So this is where we started to talk globally about this threat landscape. And if you want to map it to our local region and specifically towards the UAE, for example, there is no major difference. So in general, we continue on seeing more and more identity-based attacks. we continue to see also an increase of active intrusions that are related to compromised credentials. And this is where also we see a higher risk towards the exposed assets, where threat actors are mainly leveraging vulnerabilities and misconfiguration. All of this is definitely affecting the breakout time, where attacks are getting faster. So for this point as well, we have recently launched within our platform for all of our customers the adversary counter operation. So all of our customers can have a statistics or a view for statistics in terms of threat actors, the active threat actors, and they can definitely filter based on their country, based on their industry, and based on their size in terms of a small organization or medium or a large enterprise. And this is also where they can identify the top types in terms of detections that are mapped to the tactics and to the techniques. And for example, if we just go for the UAE, for any industry, for any size, this is where we see the top detections in terms of MITRE attack tactic and technique are mainly related towards the initial access through the valid accounts. So this is definitely showing that there is no major difference within our region, and if we compare it to the global threat landscape.
Thank you, Michel. These are very interesting and at the same time very scary as well. What do you think we could probably inform our customers, or how do you think we could probably pass some best practices or some better things for them to do in terms of being able to resist themselves or prevent themselves against these kind of attacks happening?
Yeah, so here we've been talking about the threat landscape. If you want to talk about what we need to consider in order to have a proper position, a proper resilient position against these kind of threats, this is where we can propose 4 main points. The first one is mainly related to visibility. Visibility is always the key element. Without the visibility, we cannot protect our environment. So the visibility should be achieved on the endpoints, on the cloud, on the identity as well. Point number 2, visibility will not be only used for the protection. So also we need to be proactive by relying on the visibility itself, as we need to identify our environment. We need to identify from the lens, from the perspective of the threat actor, what is vulnerable or most vulnerable within our environment that could lead to a potential attack. And the third point is where we see also more organizations shifting towards the cloud. This is where also we need to prioritize protecting the cloud as well. And the last point is always knowing the adversary. So without knowing the adversary, without having a proper intel, we cannot really consider what and how we need to have this kind of protection to protect our environment as well.
Thank you so much, Michel. How do you probably map all these best practices or these advices that we can give customers against what CrowdStrike Falcon platform can offer them, or how do we map all these things in terms of the features, in terms of deliverables that customers can take advantage of?
Yeah, so very important here, Martin, for asking this question. This is where we are providing the Falcon platform. It is in fact a unified platform to resolve the security pain points for our customers. So this is where we are providing everything throughout a single lightweight sensor that can be installed seamlessly across the entire environment within no time. It has also a zero impact towards the performance of the endpoint. It does not require reboot during installation. It can protect those endpoints immediately. So no downtime at all for the servers, for the workstations, no impact towards the end user experience. And it is powered by our artificial intelligence, machine learning, and indicator of attack, so that it will be able to detect and to prevent any malicious activity. So the EDR being the core, all of the events are recorded, so the malicious activity is prevented. Any advanced attack is automatically prevented and detected, and this is where we deliver a proper visibility to the security team, so that they will be able to do further investigation, further threat hunting as well. And this is where everything is combined, whether we talk about the visibility related to the endpoint or to the identity, it's all combined within the same platform from the same agent. And at the same time, those events are reutilized, are reanalyzed in order to achieve other outcomes. For example, if you want to identify the vulnerabilities, if you want to identify the most or the high risk in terms of our assets, this is how we can identify within the platform, and this is how we achieve and deliver the consolidation.
It's very important to show the value of a unified platform, taking away a lot of complexity related issues for a lot of customers. So I think probably today one another aspect that we need to focus on and what we need to deliver as a message is on consolidation. So what do you have got to say about consolidation from CrowdStrike security platform in terms of what we offer?
Yeah, so initially I would like to identify and talk a little bit about the complexity first, because it is always the major issue. So complexity used to be, and it is the enemy of for the cybersecurity. This is where, when we talk about the complexity, this is where it has an impact towards the cost. The cost is mainly directly related to the cost of ownership, or even to the cost of the operation, where the security team has to deal with different platforms. So this will definitely result into a slowness in terms of the response. And we've seen how attacks are fast. So consolidation, it has to resolve the major use cases, the security pain points, and this is how we are providing it and how we are achieving it from CrowdStrike. So at this point here, I would like to start talking about the unified platform in general within this consolidation. So we need to deliver, we need to provide first the proactive security. So this is where the security team need to focus on what matters initially within the environment, by seeing the environment from the perspective of the threat actor, what would be the most likely part to be most vulnerable or exploited first. So this is where we are providing the exposure, the Falcon exposure management, and this is where it is delivered throughout the combination, throughout the correlation of different events. So this is where we can start first from a proper visibility from the inside to the outside. So this is where the agent is already recording the events, and this is where those events are being analyzed to identify the vulnerabilities, related to the operating system or to the third-party applications across all operating systems, of course. And this is where we can identify the unmanaged assets, we can identify the security posture of our assets, and this is where we can identify how the assets are communicating together. So all of this is identified throughout the Falcon Discover and throughout the Falcon Spotlight that will provide this visibility from the inside to the outside. And at the same time, we need to map it, to correlate it with the visibility from the outside to the inside. And this is how we achieve it, is throughout the Falcon surface, which is our external attack surface management. And this is where we keep on scanning the internet to identify those exposed assets, those IPs, those domains, those IoTs, how they are mapped, how in terms of their security, in terms of their configuration, in terms of the security setup, and even within the risk related to those exposed assets. So we are mapping all of these events, all of these telemetries, in order to achieve within a consolidated view what matters first, what are my high risk in terms of my exposed assets that could be the start of any potential threat. And this is where we can achieve compliance with CIS benchmarking as an example. And this is also, we can identify the attack path that would happen within the environment. So the security team can discover, can assess, can prioritize, and can do the actual remediation. At the same time, within the consolidation, the Falcon Insight XDR and the Falcon Prevent are there in order to protect during the attack, to detect and to prevent any malicious activity, to provide the context, to provide the capability to prevent and to do the further response and remediation, and of course the investigation. And at the same time, we need to do a proper automation, and this is where we can achieve it throughout the Falcon Fusion. That is our orchestrator to achieve the automation, and this is where the security team can build their playbooks, which is quite easy, drag and drop, doesn't really require lots of expertise, where they can define when to trigger the conditions and also the actions to be taken. Of course, everything is covered throughout the cloud or the endpoint or the identity. And by the back, we have our managed services that are our Falcon Overwatch team that are doing the continuous threat hunting, which is proactive, to identify the weaknesses, to identify any hands-on keyboard or any adversary that is living off the land. So this is how we achieve such a consolidation, and definitely the cost will be optimized, the cost of ownership and the cost of operation as well.
It really was awesome to understand how a platform or how a security solution is addressing the pain points of a lot of customers of ours, and then how we are able to resolve all of them. As we are nearing the end of our this session, I would just like to understand what do we have in store for 2024?
Yeah, so this is quite important as 2024 is about to start, and this is where we really need to look ahead and to look forward. So this is there is one point that I really didn't touch base during our conversation, which is mainly the AI chatbots that is now widely used within different businesses. Of course, it is facilitating lots of businesses, but at the same time, if we look at the security, it will be definitely a pivotal point for security, where attacks would be definitely faster when attackers are relying on AI chatbots. But of course, it will definitely help the security team. And this is where from CrowdStrike, we are launching Charlotte AI that will be part of the platform, and it will be a force multiplier for the security team in order to help them, in order to keep them always ahead of the attacker. On the other side, definitely we will keep on seeing more attacks related to identities. We will definitely see more exploits related to the exposed assets, related to the vulnerabilities, related to the misconfiguration. And definitely this will definitely lower the barrier for the threat actors in order to penetrate within any environment. And definitely when we see more organization shifting and moving towards the cloud, definitely the attacks that will be targeting the cloud workloads will increase as well.
This is very helpful in terms of understanding how CrowdStrike as a platform, as an organization, is making the end organizations or customers stay ahead of their adversaries by with the great technology we have to offer, probably cutting edge technology that we bring to forefront, probably the different aspects that we have incorporated, including the managed services. It definitely is helping a lot of our customers now with inclusion of Charlotte AI. This is going to be a game changer, I believe. It was really great talking to you on all these aspects. It's been almost little over 2 years since we have partnered with Ingram Micro has partnered with CrowdStrike. I would just like to know from you, how do you see this partnership evolving?
Yeah, so this is very important to end up our podcast for today. And first of all, I would like to highlight that CrowdStrike is always a channel first, a partner first. So this is where we always look towards a proper partner ecosystem or channel ecosystem. So this is also where Ingram has a unique distribution model that will be always helping and assisting our customers and our partners as well. So we have got so many successful stories together. This is where we see the Ingram team proactively working, assisting our customers and our partners as well. And this is where we are looking to get more success stories. So this is where we are expanding the coverage with Ingram to a bigger area within our territory. And this is where we are going to rely more on Ingram in new countries like Saudi Arabia, like North Africa and Egypt, and of course in Pakistan. And this is where Ingram would be our extended arm within the region, within the territory, in order to help us in such countries where we always need such a presence.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, Michelle, for taking out the time today. We just wanted to conclude by saying one thing. CrowdStrike is one technology, one solution that helps our customers stay ahead of our adversaries, irrespective of whether the entity is small, medium, or big. We always help you stay ahead of our adversaries. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes during this GITEX from us. Thank you. Bye-bye.